very much, Mr Hollowone. It's a pleasure to see you in the chair. And I thank the Honourable Member for South Thanet for bringing this debate, because I think it is a very important issue and highlights a real gap in the government's, I suppose, intention and the government's delivery, which really is failing an awful lot of people. He laid out the limitations of this policy, which was headline-grabbing, I suppose, but has been proven to be pretty much entirely ineffective and bureaucratic. And it takes a benefit that ought to be one of the most simple benefits, child benefit paid for a child, to help that child. And it's an important universal benefit, and whittling away at that until it becomes a very complex bureaucratic system that people will find difficult to access. And the organisations like the Women's Budget Group have long argued that this UK government's approach to balancing the books is gendered and doesn't stand up to the most rudimental scrutiny from an equality perspective. And this is a key example within this policy. And budgets and spending reviews come and go, but we're yet to see any real strategic direction on tackling gender inequality. And the Honourable Member from South Thanet mentioned that this removes the independence of individuals within the tax system. And in doing so, that set the scene for universal credit, which also removes that independence, treating people as a household rather than individuals, and damaging women's own financial ability within that relationship also, and leaving them, in many cases, in the grips of financial coercive control, where they do not have the financial ability to get out of an abusive relationship. So it's no surprise, really, looking at this policy, that women, and particular mothers, are disproportionately affected. The UK government have failed to make it clear to stay-at-home mums that even if you're not eligible to receive child benefit, you should still claim it, and then subsequently file a self-assessment tax return and pay the money back in order to receive those national insurance contributions. And this is not an intuitive process. In fact, it's quite the opposite, because self-assessment is complex and stressful, and as the Honourable Member from Strangford set out, people end up getting lost in the complexity of the system. They're worried about getting it wrong. They might have to get accountants involved as well. That shouldn't be the case for something as simple and as basic as child benefit. The money should very much follow that child. And when I started, when I was elected in this job, I knew about this vaguely, panicked, phoned up, and cancelled the child benefit I'd previously received when I was a local government councillor and earning considerably less than I do now. So if MPs are led to, like me, are led to panic by this, what chance does anybody else have? It's absurdly convoluted and beyond the reasonable expectation that most people would have in accessing such a system. And it's a really concerning prospect that this policy could be storing up significant problems for the future, as the Honourable Member for South Thanet laid out. And many of my constituents are suffering now from previous derelictions of duty over long-term pension planning. And we've all heard the horror stories of the WASPy women who were not told that their state pensions had changed until 14 years after the policy was introduced. And there's every chance that a new generation of women will run into similar problems. And the child benefit form that's issued to parents is not a particularly simple form. It's got a statement on it saying that claiming child benefit can help to protect your state pension, but it's really not clear enough. What does that actually mean, and what are the implications of that for the future? And the Treasury believe that there are 200,000 parents who may be affected by this. And it fails to make clear that the non-working parent, usually the mother, should be the one to fill out the benefit form to build up those credits. And it's been suggested that an easy short-term fix would be to change the form, but we need to look at the long-term solutions for this. And I would ask the Minister perhaps to consider a review of this policy in the round, to look for cases of error, actively look for cases of error where people may have built up a gap unknowingly in their pension contributions. We need to alert those affected, and I think the government really does have a duty to make sure that those people get that money back, actually, because they have not been clear enough in what they have asked. Suggestions have been made to automatically trigger a claim when a birth is registered, and this may be worth exploring. But I would ask that the Minister makes an interim change of changing the wording in the form, and a longer-term review, as I say, of reviewing this whole burach of a process. And I think most parents would say when they've got a newborn baby in their arms, the last thing they want to be doing is filling in an extensive form about incomes. And of course, incomes will change, sometimes dramatically, over the course of a child's life. And we've seen those kinds of things happening again and again when we have the economy and all the chaos of Brexit coming in. And as I mentioned earlier, it is a distressing thought, but the reality for many women is that their partners would seek to exercise financial control over them, and removing access to child benefit, that small amount of money which can be incredibly important in a woman making plans to leave an abusive relationship, by making that more difficult to access for the higher earning person in that household, often the father, to say, don't you worry about it, you stay at home, I'll earn the money, you don't need to worry about this, removes that woman's right, that woman's chances to be financially independent. And I would also say that the notion that you have to know your partner's intimate financial details is also quite unusual. My husband and I have separate bank accounts. I have no idea what he earns, but I was expected to phone up and give the intimate detail to somebody over the phone when I had no idea myself. And if you're in a situation of financial coercive control, that will be all the more difficult for those women to try and do that, and will give the parent, the male parent in that situation, a huge amount of control in that situation. So I would argue that the Minister does need to look at this in significant detail, try and assess what the issues are, and to put that right before this ends up in another situation like the WASPI women. We cannot have that happen again, where women are disproportionately affected by an ill-thought-through government policy from Westminster.